Tyler Jones here for another mailbag edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Your fearless leader checking in, and it's time to answer your questions. We've got a lot of trade buzz to dive into today, names like Micah Parsons, George Pickens, and more being thrown around. So let's not waste another second, let's jump right into it. What are your thoughts on Bryan Cook? Would you re-sign him next offseason? Great question, Shad. Bryan Cook is coming off a full season as a starter. 17 games, 78 tackles, 5 pass breakups, and 2 interceptions. He's not a superstar, but he's dependable, and that's what matters in Steve Spagnuolo's system. You're not going to need to break the bank to bring him back, either. With Justin Reid now in New Orleans, Cook becomes the veteran presence in that safety room. He's shown growth, especially compared to the previous year. More tackles, more takeaways, and better awareness on the field. Here's the deal, not every player needs to be a Pro Bowler. You just need guys who can play solid football without costing you a fortune. That's Bryan Cook. I'd absolutely re-sign him at the right price. Make sure you're subscribed and have your notifications turned on. The Noti Gang is always first in line for our live shows and exclusive content. So if you've got a hot take or trade idea, drop it in the comments or during a live, youtube.com/HSTV. If you're already part of the Noti Gang, spam Noti Gang in the comments. I'm interested in Tyreek Hill, but do the Chiefs even have enough cap space? Great question, Tony. And yes, we talked Tyreek earlier this week because the rumors out of Miami are heating up. He's reportedly unhappy, and he doesn't have guaranteed money left beyond this year. That opens the door. His 2025 base salary is only $10 million. If the Dolphins really want to move on, a team like the Chiefs could restructure his deal, lower the cap hit this year, give him future guarantees, and make it work. Now sure, it'd take creativity, but Brett Veach has been down this road before. The bigger issue. Would the Dolphins even want to help Kansas City? That's the real hurdle. AFC teams aren't eager to strengthen a rival. We've already seen the Bengals shut down any chance of doing business with KC. Don't be surprised if Miami feels the same. Could the Chiefs trade for Micah Parsons? Phew. That's a bold one. Look, Micah Parsons is an absolute beast. 12+ sacks every season, arguably the best defensive player in football. But here's the thing, it would cost a fortune. We're talking at least 1 first-round pick, probably more. Plus, you'd have to give him a mega extension, which would impact your flexibility across the roster. Would Parsons make the Chiefs better? Maybe. But the cost would hurt you elsewhere. It's not about his talent, it's about what you'd give up. For me, it's a pass. What do you think? Should the Chiefs trade for Micah Parsons? Type T for trade or P for pass in the comments. Today's mailbag is brought to you by Prize Picks, the best place for daily fantasy made easy. Pick 2+ players, choose more or less on stats like fantasy points, home runs, or strikeouts, and boom, you're in the game. New users get $50 instantly when you play just $5. That's guaranteed. Download the Prize Picks app and use promo code CS to get started. Links in the description and pinned comment. Prize Picks, run your game. Could the Chiefs trade for George Pickens? Interesting idea, and yes, there are rumblings that the Steelers are open to trading Pickens. He's off to a strong start in his career, but let's be real, he's a bit of a diva. There's a lot of ego to manage there. Now, the Chiefs have handled tough personalities before, so it's not impossible. But here's the part that gives me pause. The Steelers have a great track record of knowing when to move on from receivers. Look at Antonio Brown, JuJu, Chase Claypool, and Deontay Johnson. Most of those guys fizzled out after leaving Pittsburgh. So if they're looking to move on from Pickens, that should make you nervous. Could he still be great? Sure. But history says otherwise. I think you can find a better WR option without the drama. Should the Chiefs trade for George Pickens? Type Y for yes or N for no down in the comments. Do you think Moore could be the long-term right tackle after Taylor's contract ends? Honestly, I think the ideal plan is for Wanya Morris or another young lineman to take over at left tackle, especially if Jawan Taylor isn't retained down the line. If Morris struggles at left tackle, then you consider moving him to the right side. But the goal is to have your best lineman protecting Mahomes' blind side. Could the Chiefs trade out of the first round if the board doesn't fall their way? Absolutely. It all depends on how the board shapes up. If the right guy isn't there, and someone else wants to move up, Brett Veach won't hesitate to trade down and collect more picks. It's all about flexibility and value. What about drafting William and Mary O.T. Charles Grant? I've talked about Charles Grant before, raw but talented. He's 6 feet 4 inches, 300 pounds, and shows flashes. The jump from William and Mary to the NFL is huge, but the upside is there. He'd be a developmental guy, not a plug-and-play starter, but I'd definitely consider him late on day 3. Appreciate everyone who sent in questions for this week's Chiefs Report mailbag. Make sure to subscribe, turn on those notices, and drop a comment below if you want your question featured next time. Let's keep building the best Chiefs community on YouTube. Go Chiefs!